Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today it's On the Water Wednesday, and I'm down here in West Point Lake. And boy, I tell you what, all you got to do is grab yourself a cup of coffee, put a little cream in it, and you can sit back and enjoy this video, and you know exactly the watercolor that I'm fishing in all week here. It is muddy, muddy, muddy. But we are... West Point Lake is a lake that's got a lot of spotted bass and some largemouth. And so that puts me in a situation where, boy, you better know the difference between spotted bass and largemouth, because spotted bass, the size limit is 12 inches and largemouth needs to be 14. And you're going to be catching both throughout the week and throughout the tournament. So you need to know the difference. So I thought today on the Water Wednesday, we would do an episode where I show you how to tell the difference between a spotted bass and a largemouth bass. Stick around, guys, and we'll be back right after this. All right, we're back on Mark Fisher Outdoors. We're gonna go over how to tell the difference between a spotted bass and a largemouth bass. Now, unfortunately, I've got one of each, but unfortunately, the largemouth bass that I have is about a 5-pound bass, and the spotted bass is about a 12-inch bass. So you would look at me and go, Mark, if you don't know the difference between those two, you're crazy. That's not the way you tell the difference, because quite honestly, there's an awful lot of 12-inch bass and largemouth bass in here too. So we're not going to worry about size, even though this is going to be pretty obvious which one the largemouth is. But there are 3 things that you're going to look at when you're telling the difference between a largemouth bass and a spotted bass. The first one that I think a lot of people know, there is a little sandpaper patch on the tongue of a spotted bass. That is the first way, and it's the way that most people check first to find out whether you've got a spotted bass or a largemouth. You touch the tongue, and if you feel that little, it's actually a tooth, but little sandpaper patch there on the tongue of a spotted bass, you know you have a spotted bass. However, boy, I tell you, in a lake like West Point Lake, there's a lot of mixing and matching in terms of the species, and sometimes you'll actually find a largemouth that's got kind of a little spotted, or a little bit of a sandpaper patch on that tongue too. So there are 2 other ways to tell as well, and we're going to get into that. One has to do with the dorsal fin, and the other has to do with how far back the mouth extends related to the eye on the fish. So let's get these 2 fish out and let's take a look so that we can compare spotted bass to a largemouth bass. Guys, before I pull these fish out of the live well, just a reminder, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up, send us your comments. We try every Wednesday, we're doing either Underwater Wednesdays where we're in the pool, or if I'm out on the lake, we do a little On the Water Wednesday. And so this week is On the Water Wednesday, since I'm nowhere near a pool and I'm on the water practicing for West Point Lake. So guys, hit that subscribe button. We would really appreciate it. Become a part of the Mark Fisher Outdoors community. All right, let's get these fish out of the well. All right, so there's our largemouth. And these are the things that I want. First of all, on the tongue, very slippery and no patch. When you look at the mouth extends to here. So when that mouth extends to here, it is beyond the eye. And then the very important part is right here on the dorsal fin. When that dorsal fin is extended, you see that dorsal fin goes down to the body before it starts the second part of the fin, the second half of the fin. You see that? So we've got the mouth, the tongue, and the dorsal fin. On our spotted bass, obviously, spotted bass, the mouth right here is right in line with the eye. The dorsal, you see how it doesn't go down all the way to the body? It stops maybe about a quarter of an inch or so before it goes up. And then the telltale patch on the tongue. A little sandpaper patch right there on the tongue. So I'm gonna get these guys back in the water. I'm gonna hope that this big girl, or one like her, visits me again, and we'll be in good shape. So guys, I mean, it's pretty simple when you know them, but you have to know them, and you gotta be able to, because a lot of times with these fish that kind of commingle, some of the features won't be as exaggerated as you would like. And the coloring obviously is another indicator, and I failed to mention that. And the reason that I failed to mention it is because, like I said earlier in the episode, we're fishing in very, very dirty water. And when you get into dirty water, the coloring on these fish are very, very pale. And so coloring is just not an option this week when it comes to identifying the difference between a spotted bass and a largemouth bass. Usually a largemouth bass is going to be much greener, and with the spotted bass you're going to have white with the kind of spotted lateral line or checkered lateral line versus a straighter lateral line. But coloring is just not a good indicator, especially when you get into stained water like this, of being able to tell the difference between a largemouth and a spotted bass. Guys, I hope this was informative for you. We appreciate you tuning in every day, and we've got more episodes Monday through Friday on Mark Fisher Outdoors. Thanks again, guys. Take care.